What's up, you lazy, entitled, basement-dwelling millennials, bootstrapping boomers, apathetic Xers, and goddamn Gen Z kids today? We're continuing with our part 2 with PissedOffBartender on TikTok. Please enjoy our picking up right where we left off. We did not plan this transition well, so we apologize for any bumps in the road, but we didn't want to stop the conversation, and we hope you're still enjoying it.
I talk a lot, guys.
All right. I think that's great. I want to give you now your clothes that we can use on both of these. I will do the. All right, we're wrapping this up for our second time. We will continue this next week. Oh, that's apparently the winning thing. You know, you love the poorly educated. Elon's out here saying y'all are too dumb to work for me. That's why we actually still need immigrants that we told you we were going to deport and shit. Like,
remember,
fuck.
Americans, you're fit to work the fields. You are not fit to sit behind a desk.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they told you.
Yeah. No, it's true. And that is the frustrating thing, I think, as a progressive content creator, is like, I go to bat every day for the Democratic Party because that is currently the only party that even moderately represents what I think, like my ideals, right? What I think, I believe that everybody's equal and everybody should have an equal chance at life. I think everybody should have a roof over their head at the end of the day, food on their table at the end of the day. They should have a job that pays their bills at the end of the day. And if they can't get that, like, you don't need to justify to me why you can't get that. You should still have that, right? And the Democratic Party doesn't represent that either, but they're much closer to representing that, obviously, than the Republican Party. And then it was every step of the way through this campaign and through the Hillary campaign. But this campaign, I felt it even more because, again, yeah, we're selling them. Like, we're trying to sell people on this is why we need to take this step right now, even though it's, again, I see all of the frustrations with taking this step, with electing Kamala and the status quo. I see all the problems with that. But we still need to take this step is because, you know, it got so much more frustrating when we had the Palestine stuff. Just drove me up a fucking wall. It's like you can't pay lip service. You can't be just like, this is objectively wrong. The rest of the world has admitted this is objectively wrong. We hear all of you that are protesting. We hear and see what you feel and understand that we are working through the intricacies of a very complex interglobal system, that we have a lot of treaties and a lot of connections that we have to tread very lightly, but we hear and we need to start putting pressure on the humanitarian crisis that is going on there. That's all they had to say, without fucking starting off with Israel has the right to defend itself. Like, no shit, everybody's got the right to defend themselves. Nobody was arguing that. Like, it's the fucking genocide and the imperialism that Israel has been committing for decades that got us to this point, and you're not even willing to acknowledge those people who, like, this is a big issue to us. This is a huge issue to all these college kids who are on these college campuses, and they couldn't pay lip service to it. Like, lip service was all you needed to do.
We didn't lie. Like, if it's that big of a deal, fucking lie. But you could have created 5 million votes right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm legitimately sure it's the Palestine thing that made a lot of people stay home. And I don't want to say the Palestine thing. I want to say the fucking genocide that Israel is committing is what made a lot of people stay home.
Yep. And again, and like, being a pragmatist and a person who understands everything, like, I am so frustrated because now all of those people who died on that hill are letting a lot of other people who are not them actually die on that hill, because it is going to be much worse now that we've got Trump coming in, who is going to be, you know, fucking turn it to glass. He doesn't give a shit. Like, he's going to
go from Israel has a right to defend itself to Israel needs a new parking lot, guys. Come on.
And so, like, I'm frustrated with that because I could see those parallels, but I also know that I was also 20 at one point, and I had a very limited and idealistic view of the world, and I understood where they were coming from, and I understood that a little bit of diplomacy with those voters would have went a long way towards winning that election and putting the needs of the Palestinians higher than what they are going to be put. And they're never going to be put on the pedestal that they need to be put on, but we could have done better, right?
Something, anything, other than letting fucking Israel blow up humanitarian workers in their vehicle while trying to deliver food and medical supplies.
Yep.
Like I try not to give people shit for not voting. This time around, was you not voting essentially a vote for Trump? Yes, but I am not going to bitch at you for exercising your constitutional right to shut the fuck up. As long as you shut the fuck up. Now, if you were running your mouth and saying either side was evil and then saying you wasn't going to vote, I'd be the first one to tell you, hey, there are several fucking seats over there. Go have you one of them because you have chosen to abstain from being part of the process. But it's just like the people who bitch about, yo, you're being divisive. Well, I'm not being divisive. I'm not going to stand shoulder to shoulder with bigots. And you need to shut the fuck up about people not voting. If they didn't want to vote, they didn't have to. You know, we didn't give them something to vote for. Neither
they didn't
side.
earn their vote. And I can't be mad at them for not earning their vote. I can be mad at them for bitching about the consequences of them not voting. But Democrats didn't earn their vote. And you can't. And that's the frustrating thing is we are out here and we're like, we are stumping for you. And you're not giving us, you are making it harder for us at every, and it's not like the Republican side of things where they're spending millions of dollars on Republican podcasters and content creators to go out there and push their propaganda. We're like, hey, we're here doing this shit for fucking free. You could at least make it kind of easy-ish on us to not have to.
Throw me a fucking bone. If you're not going to write me a check, throw me a fucking bone.
Yeah.
I don't even really want your dirty party money. I just want you to throw me a fucking bone.
I want you to give me some policy that we can get behind. Like, genuinely get behind. That's all we're asking for is just...
Literally, just do give me a solid plan that I can tell these people that you are going to run with. Because I'll be honest, we all made fun of concepts of a plan, because, I mean, it's fucking stupid and funny. But, the whole she doesn't have any policies thing was wrong. They were right there listed on her website, but even they were kind of vague in a lot of places. Like, you got to break this shit down into a 3-minute YouTube video for me, friend. That way I can break it down into a 60-second TikTok for these people. Like, and it needs to have numbers and graphs and charts and things like, not just we're gonna stop price gouging. How? I understand that's what you want to do. How? Please explain to these people that Walmart and Kroger are the reason their goddamn their eggs are expensive.
Right. I didn't even need that. I just needed you to not make me try to explain why you need to vote for the less genocidal supporting person. Like, give me some fucking lip.
Back to that one issue was all you had to do was just denounce genocide, and we would not be. I mean, I think we would be having a conversation right now, but not this one.
Yeah. It was all that. It was why are you chasing Republicans on immigration policy rather than just being like, this is the immigration policy we need, and put some opposition policy up to their closed border shit, because they chased them on closed border fucking immigration policy towards the end of the election. I'm like, I don't agree with this, and I can't agree with this, and I'm going to sit here and say that, yeah, I don't agree with this, but the rest of the policy works better than what we're going to get if we don't have this. But this is like, why are you making me have to defend shit that I can't defend? Like, why are you making me have to talk around this shit when you should be putting up opposition policy?
Oh, I fucking hate having to talk around things. Like, it is just for once, can I get a candidate that I don't have to talk around? And I understand you can't make everybody happy, but like if you just give us the basic human rights and needs, I don't have to talk around fuck all else after that. No genocide, everybody eats, everybody drinks, everybody has a roof. I don't give a fuck about the rest of it.
Sorry, Taylor, we cut you off again.
No, I couldn't tell with Kamala's just sort of election if she was being told by the DNC, like, this is what you need to go on about, or if she truly just didn't give a shit about a single progressive policy one iota to even say like, oh yeah, that'd be good, or like, yeah, these things are what we should be like talking about. I don't know. I don't know if she cared or if she was just being told that you can't talk about leftist populist economic theory in any way whatsoever because that's not what the donors want.
I think that Kamala, just looking back at her political career as a whole, Kamala's opinions are what the polls tell her her opinion should have been.
Hmm.
And like that's just and maybe that's wrong, and I don't want to put words in her mouth or anything like that, but just looking at the way, like, through her prosecutor career and the stances she took on, she was tough on crime 1 minute, and then she's a progressive prosecutor the next minute, and it was just like, what was the shifting trends of the voting demographic and what is going to get her into her next office. And I think it served her fairly well at a certain point, but we're in a different era of politics that doesn't work. And I think that the Democratic Party as a whole is stuck in that, because the Clintons did the same thing. I mean, the Clintons were anti-gay marriage. The Clintons were tough on crime, super predator bullshit, until, oh, never mind, the polls have changed, the demographics have changed, we're changing. We now, and I want to be very clear that that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to try to represent the people that you're trying to represent, right? Like, you're running for office as a representative, and if this is what people want, this is what you should be representing. But I think that you still have to have a core belief system that underpins what you're running for, and certain things that you don't sell out for polls. And I think that Democratic polling as a whole is fucking flawed because they're so worried about. It's the mythical moderate. A moderate doesn't exist. You can't convince me otherwise at this point. There's no such thing.
Also, going back on, you said she couldn't really talk about any kind of progressive or social economic plan. It's really hard to talk about anything that could even closely resemble helping other people in an economic plan when the guy standing across from you is calling you a communist, Marxist, socialist, whatever the fuck. Because now you have, I mean, how many times a day do you get called a commie?
Personally, nah, never.
I mean, I know I, at least 50 fucking times a day in 50 different ways, get called a communist, and 53 of those ways are wrong because the vast majority of them can't define communism or tell me why it's bad. It is, but you don't know why.
Comment responses, my friend, your best friend. This is what, and maybe I've sort of fucked myself out of content because I used to get a lot of free content out of those fucking people. But every time somebody would call me a communist or like anything like that, and then like, free fucking video for me where I don't have to do a ton of research or anything, and I go in and explain to them how fucking dumb they are in great detail. And now nobody does that to me anymore. I get like one or two on occasion, and I kind of miss them. I miss those.
I had to stop doing video responses because I firmly believe I'm the reason Bootlicker will get you a fucking a comment flag on TikTok now. I firmly believe it's my fault, and it's because I called too many people bootlickers in video responses, and I almost got my goddamn TikTok account taken away over it. So I stopped responding to people with videos. But whenever someone does to me, I just tell them, define communism for me and tell me why it's bad. I know why it's bad. You don't, and that's the problem. And because I'm firmly in the camp of capitalism sucks. But we have to find a new system because we can't try any of the others. Communism works great on paper, and then humans get a hold of it, and inevitably somebody fucks it up every time.
Well, I mean, we have more functional systems already in just around the world that work better than what we have, and nothing's going to be perfect, but ours is the furthest from it at this point, short of fascism, which we are barreling towards. We have
fascism is a part of capitalism.
What?
Fascism is a part of capitalism. You can't have capitalism and not have fascism in some form or manner. So it's.
So do you think like Swedish country or like the Nordic countries are fascist in some form or fashion?
I mean, they still have economic disparities, and they still have right-wing people.
Economic disparity is not fascism.
No, but it's it's a byproduct of capitalism, and it leads to people being discontent, and which leads to people taking advantage of that and saying, we need nationalist, policies and people in power, and then it just goes all downhill from there.
I always use
Yeah,
coconuts. For me, I use the coconut economic system to explain why I don't think any of the isms tend to work, especially the three major social ones. Is I have a coconut. Our society runs on coconuts. We all love coconuts. Everybody gets one coconut. You are bigger than me. You decide you really like coconuts. You hit me over the head for the coconut. You now have two coconuts. Then you go tell your buddy, who's also bigger than somebody else. If we just hit people over the heads, we can both have two coconuts. And next thing you know, there's a coconut farm and coconut guards, and you work a shift 8 hours a day in the coconut farm to get your half a coconut that the guy with two coconuts lets you have. Unfortunately, it just feels like it always goes there.
It sounds like every Korean TV show that is on Netflix right now, like Squid Game type shit. Like, it's the same shit, like basically.
And it all boils down to it's not the system's fault. It's just somebody is big and wants two coconuts every time. So for me, I don't have faith in humanity to go to a full social system as much as I would love for it to happen. But I am very, very aware that unfettered capitalism is going to kill us, the planet, and everything involved.
Absolutely. And I don't have faith in humanity either. I think, again, I haven't seen much better than the Nordic model on a system that works where you've got people who can still have the benefits of capitalism and push that in a system where it doesn't compromise people's basic needs of housing, food, healthcare, education. And that's where like capitalism can exist outside of those. We provide those basic needs, and then great, allow capitalism to do some of the good things that capitalism does do. Free market capitalism.
So I think that's the different. I don't think people differentiate free market and just trade from capitalism enough, because capitalism is using a lot of wealth to maintain wealth and then invest and in the economy, and then retain and gain additional capital. Free market doesn't require that people have an immense amount of capital in order to do things at that, and then build additional capital upon it. So, like, if we set limits on capital, then sure, capitalism could be absolutely a perfect system. But without limits, like you said, unfettered, it's just going to end up going towards fascism every time.
No, yeah, I mean, it ends up at that oligarchy or plutocracy is really what the end goal of capitalism unregulated is plutocracy or oligarchy, is the rich control all of it, and that's why even Smithian capitalism is highly regulated in the original free hand of the market bullshit. He expected the government to regulate capitalism and ensure a free market where one entity couldn't control the entire system, because then the whole system breaks down and we no longer have a free market capitalist society. It's yeah. I don't know. We don't have to beat this horse to death because we're a long way from solving that problem. I am more curious because again, you said you had to be from Alabama to know Alabama, right? And the incoming administration is going to hit Alabama hard. Your state is probably the definition of the find out version of fuck around and find out, because they've fucked around the most for a long time and they're about to find out the hardest. Like, we here in Minnesota are going to find out, but not on the Alabama level of find out. Alabama ranks 45th in education, 44th in healthcare, 48th in life expectancy, 44th in poverty, 49th in median income, 40th in quality of life. Like, if Bama didn't have Oklahoma and Mississippi around, they'd be drowning, right? Like they're the almost to the bottom of the barrel on every metric that people think are a good thing to just have a place to live. And if seventh, this was a big thing. Seventh in welfare recipients, right? And obviously, the GOP wants to cut education. They want to cut welfare. They want to cut healthcare. Basically, every program that God clearly almost everybody in your state relies on to just survive day to day. Do you think that that they're going to have a revelation, a realization? You interact with these people on a daily basis.
Fucking not. Absolutely not. So Alabama is incredibly weird in the sense that all of those things are true. Mm-hmm. But because we have cities like Huntsville, you wouldn't know it depending on where you go. Because if I took you to Huntsville, Alabama, you're going to be like, no, this isn't the Alabama that's I have read about. But if I take you 10 minutes outside of it, you will. Unfortunately, most of the stereotypes that people try to push about welfare and food stamps and all those things, they're able to get away with it because a lot of it is here. Like our big cities, besides Huntsville, are crime ridden. They are very food stamp users get them and sell them. They're not so much being used. Like I will straight up tell you that Birmingham, which is the closest big city to me now, is a very poverty-ridden city, depending on where in the city you are at. And there's lots of people on SNAP, and almost none of them are actually using them for food. But it's because of this delicate system not system, but that's the best way to put it, we have here, where we've done these, all of our communities work together. Whether they are very segregated and things like that, but they all work together. Where if you don't necessarily, you get food stamps, but you might not necessarily need the food. You need your power bill paid. So you're going to go sell those food stamps to the next guy, not for drugs, but for 75 cents on the dollar so that you can pay your power bill this month or this, that, and the third. And so a lot of people will feel it when they're broke, but they'll be taken care of. Everybody here's got a garden. It's going to be the people that don't need to learn the lesson that are going to actually get fucked here, to be honest with you. The ones that are going to get fucked already don't, like, they're already living in squalor. They're already depending on the community outside of the social programs, and they're just going to depend on the community harder. The community's going to come together. We're going to do a lot better than some places when they get fucked and they can't afford anything. So all of the things that make us shit are also part of the things that are going to make it harder for us to learn when shit hits the fan. Country boy can survive, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear you. How much can its community support when they don't have anything?
That's why I kind of said it's the people that don't need to learn this lesson that are going to get hit the hardest. It's going to be your Huntsvilles, your Birminghams, your Mobiles, your Montgomerys that are going to get fucked, and those people are going to be hurting. But those aren't the people that voted this way. No. It's your Harvest, it's your fucking Greenbrier, and places that I'm from that you've never heard of that are going to be okay because all of them do have, at the very least, yard chickens and big ass gardens and communities that can take care of each other. And it's the big cities here that are going to be starving.
But I just like going back to the what the fuck's a tariff Googles and can I change my vote and like all of that and we go like we're seeing it now with the ACA is the same thing as Obamacare and wait, don't take my Social Security away, I rely on that. That's a lot of what the huge demographics of Trump voters are now worrying about, and those are huge demographics in your state. And I'm just curious.
Maybe I'm partially checked out from a lot of that though too. Like I don't associate with a lot of people on that side in general, and I'm a very, believe it or not, for all of the loud brashness and putting myself out there, I'm a very secluded person. I mind my fucking business. I stay home. I don't go out.
I feel that.
So they could be shitting their britches right now, and I wouldn't know it. To be honest with you, I just know the overall morale of the state is they think they're fine. Like there is nobody openly or outwardly panicking around here. They also, that's why I don't think they'll ever learn anything when it does happen to them. And that's really the answer to your question. Do I think they'll be an awakening? No, because when it does happen, they're going to find a way to blame the Democrats, even though I don't think there's any elected Democrats in the state, or if there is, it's like one outside of maybe local offices. But they'll find a way. They will never blame Meemaw Ivy, our fucking closeted governor who's been running this bitch forever. They will blame anybody but themselves and the people they vote for. We are delusional here, my friend.
Yeah, I sadly was hoping for a different answer, but expecting that answer.
I wanted to give you hope with the whole country boy can survive part. Like, I mean, no, the state's not going to get wiped out, but it's going to be rough on the people who don't need it to get any rougher.
Oh, it's just going to be Dumbfuckistan down there. You know, it's going to be it's already a third world country. I've been to Alabama, and it is insanely depressing, some of the places you drive through there. I mean, you're like, this is the United States of America. This looks better than some of those places where, like, for a nickel a day you can support this brown child. Like,
it's like you're talking shit about my state, and I'm not mad at you because I can think of a place 18 minutes as the crow flies that way that will look like it's been fucking bombed out. Now, I can go 18 minutes that way, and it's one of the fucking biggest cities in Alabama, too, and it doesn't look like that. But, like, we draw hard lines on where the money goes here. It's not spread out throughout the state. It's fucking in Birmingham, not too far from me. You can stand on a well-manicured, well-paved road in front of $1 million business and see a fucking crack house that the front porch has been stolen off of, and there's gutters hanging off the side of the building. Like, it's that hard of a line of how the money gets spread out. So if you are not in a major populated place, you are essentially in a third world country.
Right? Food deserts, healthcare deserts, right? Like,
no, there's no food deserts in Alabama, friend. There's Dollar Generals every 19 feet. Where you can go pay $8 for the same frozen pizza that you could buy at Walmart for $4.
Right. Yeah. God, those stores just so bad.
Alabama has got to be one of the worst targeted places for Dollar Generals in the food deserts because we are so spaced out the way we are. Yes. Like there's no public transportation outside of cities in Alabama because I mean it would be a waste of gas, to be honest, to have the bus run because nobody would fucking use it because you would have to run it 30 miles in one direction for it to be useful at all.
We need rail, and that's a whole different conversation we're not getting into today. But I mean, we've needed expanse of rail instead of an expanse of highway and parking lots for a long time, and that's not happening here. I think we've damn near effectively turned this into 2 episodes. Look,
man, the conversation's a long time coming. We got to discuss the dumb fuckery of our country, the dumb fuckery of our leadership, how we got here. This is a lot of conversation to have.
Oh my God, Akron here. Food from a Dollar General, ? Like, you don't know, man? That's why Dollar General got to stay open during COVID. They were a grocery store.
So, welcome to rural America. We have not so much in the rural parts, but we have in Dollar General markets here that like specialize in fresh food and all that. It's just still the smaller portion. Now with fresh, it's a little different, but it's still the smaller portion, bigger price. Because if you don't know, for those uninitiated in the Dollar General started out as a value store, and they very quickly realized that they could move into these food deserts. And while let's say you get a pack of cookies, and we're just gonna pick cookies. This pack of cookies is $3. It's $5 at Walmart, but it's not the same pack of cookies. It just looks like the same pack of cookies. It's actually 33% smaller. Or maybe 50% smaller. So you're actually paying more than you would at a regular store for less food, but it's designed and packaged in a way to make you think that you're saving money.
Mm-hmm. It's shopping at a gas station, but it's literally what it is. It's shopping at a gas station you can't get gas at. They've got more shit for sure, but like it's 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 honestly disgusting how they've exploited rural communities, and I see it all around here too, and it's sad.
It's because it's easier to just go to the Dollar General real quick, pick up what you need, than drive 25 miles into town. And it's a cycle. They've realized that it is a cycle that you can keep a redneck in forever.
I don't know. Just one of the great innovations of capitalism. You know, capitalism innovates, right? This is it. This is one of the innovations.
You'll be happy to know, though, that at least, I don't know how it is about y'all's way, but Walmart is at least now competing. They're finding these Dollar Generals, and this is not me rooting for Walmart. This is actually just being happy for for the person that has to deal with it. They're putting these fucking Walmart neighborhood markets directly across the street from every Dollar General they can find in the South right now that has the room. So I watched my childhood Dollar General go out of business because Walmart was like, this Dollar General gets hella fucking traffic. Set one of these directly across the street from it. 2 years is out of business.
Nice.
I mean,
that hasn't happened here yet. They kind of got their own areas at the moment in Minnesota. Like my town's got a Walmart. Next town south's got a Dollar General, but that's not really competing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's not competing at all. When I mean across the street, I mean legitimately you could throw a rock from one parking lot to the next. They are getting competitive in Alabama.
I am excited because we're getting an Aldi across the street from our Walmart now, and so thankfully, like that's literally Walmart's our grocery shopping, clothes shopping. Like we get that or Amazon. Like I get shit all the time when I mention on TikTok, like I went to the Walmart or something. They're like, I boycott Walmart. I'm like, must be a nice fucking luxury to have, asshole. Welcome, welcome to the privileged life you don't understand that you have, and this is why so many people in rural America tell you to go fuck yourselves, and it's not because you are doing this out of malice, but you just do not understand the difference between living where we live and living where, even where Taylor lives, where you've got options of places to go, where you've got lots of different grocery store options and lots of different shopping options. And we're like, we had a couple options, and then Walmart came in and was like, nope, you got us now and nobody else. And
where I live now, we have options, and even then, it's like, why would I? I don't have the money to go spend $13 on something at Target that's $9 at Walmart. I do fuck Walmart, but let's not fuck my wallet. I have bills to pay. Goddamn it! Yeah. I can't. This is another problem with capitalism that we're going to beat this dead horse. But you can't be moral in capitalism. Like I've got bills to pay, kids to feed. Goddamn it! Fucking give me the bigot shit. I gotta have it. I don't want it, but I've gotta have it.
Right. The only way you can exist morally is like by not associating with society and participating at all, which is like unless you can go off grid completely, you have to participate. So in some way.
I hate Amazon with a passion. Twice a day, I have the thought I gotta buy this off Amazon. Because it's either not available at Walmart or just locally in general, or it's out of stock or whatever, and I need it tomorrow. And unfortunately, but for some fucking poor worker, Amazon can get it to me tomorrow.
Yep. No, that's that is the unfortunate thing that I continue to try to explain to people too, is like you can't expect people who, and I'm probably the biggest hypocrite of all of this, because like I could drive the half hour and I could afford to drive the half hour and spend the little bit more at the chain grocery store because that's helping at the next biggest town, but a lot of the people in my town, most of the people in my town cannot. It's an unrealistic expectation for them altogether. And it's an unrealistic expectation for us just as normal people trying to live our lives. And you have to put in regulations that allow people to be to shop sustainably in an economic system, in a free market economic system, without having to inconvenience themselves to the point where they've got to drive a half hour and spend 20, 30, 50% more just to not support the Walmarts. Like, it shouldn't be our job as consumers to regulate Walmart. It should be our government's job to not allow a monopoly like that to take place. And
I shouldn't have to weigh groceries and morals. Like, nobody should have to weigh their groceries and their morals. The government should have handled that shit. I don't want bigger government. I don't want the government to handle everything. But there are certain things that the government. That's the point of fucking having them. If they're not handling this shit, why do we have them?
Mm-hmm.
That's you just made a point for that. The point that I've been making about MAGA is that they feel like they're the party of change now. Like, they're the party of, we're gonna mix things up and fix it. And it's like, you're gonna mix it up all right, but it ain't gonna be fixed.
I'm sorry, buddy. Throwing it in the fucking cement mixer ain't fixing it.
I'm not an accelerationist, and I didn't want accelerationism, but it looks like that's the roller coaster we all decided to get on. And I mean, eventually you get out the guillotines, right? And that's if that's what's going to fix it.
We're on YouTube. I can say guillotine here, yay! Or wherever you post this. This isn't TikTok. I can say bust out the fucking guillotine.
Absolutely. Human cigar cutters is what I call them on TikTok, by the way. They haven't come to that one yet.
I think I inadvertently stole one of your jokes the other day, by the way, or one of your alliteration lines. I was looking for a way to call people pieces of shit, and I had sad sacks of human excrement. I'm pretty sure you said that in one of yours like 3 days beforehand.
It's very realistically possible. That's okay. I've definitely stole yours. I tried to give you a call out when I used Yeehaw Fuck the Law because I love that one, and
I saw that one.
I cannot say it without. All right.
Oh.
All right, and we're wrapping up our second episode. Can you just let us know what all you got going? I know you do some Twitch stuff. I know you do. You got your YouTube, your TikTok. Just let us know all your shameless plugs. All
right. So obviously it's Pissed Off Bartender over on TikTok. That's been the main platform. I'm really trying to push the YouTube right now, which is now Pissed Off Bartender as well. It's same everywhere, but Instagram, you got to use a 3 for the last E. But really, YouTube and Twitch, if you really like, if I'm pimping anything, I'm pimping the Twitch channel, y'all. It's twitch.tv/pissedoffbartender. I'm live 5 days a week, 6 to 9 p.m. now, Central Time. We smoke a lot. We play some video games. We have good conversations. It's mostly just a chill spot to come relax, though. Like, would love to have you come by, say hi.
Usually I throw my Prime sub on Twitch to Hassan, but I might have to throw it your way a couple months here in a row.
We will take them billionaire bucks, friend. A Prime sub is my favorite sub because it don't cost you a goddamn thing, but it makes that Jeff Bezos ticker go up just a little bit slower.
That's right.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us. Again, we will do this every week for as long as you guys hang out with us to do this stuff. And gotta admit, we've been burnt out a little bit, I think, as well as all of you have been trying to trudge through the new America that we live in. But we're trudging. We are trudging, and we're keeping this up, and we appreciate the hell out of people like Andy here, Pissed Off Bartender, for coming in and helping us. This has been some seamless fucking content, if I'm being honest, because we did not put a lot of effort into the planning, and having these conversations is what's going to keep us going through all of this. So please go support him. Please support us. Offjawaggon.com. You can get Let Them Eat Toast merch. You can get Offjawaggon merch. And obviously subscribe to us on Patreon or YouTube or wherever if you can. We appreciate the hell out of that, but we appreciate the most out of people just listening to us sit here and ramble. It's why we do what we do.
That's right, guys. We appreciate you tuning in.
All right. Till next time.
Go ahead.